We're back in the 1990s for the first awesome Captain Marvel trailer, and boy does it look fantastic. Yippee-ki-yay movie lovers, it's Jan here, and in this video I'm breaking down the trailer for loads of marvellous Easter eggs and crucial details you might have missed. And to celebrate the Captain Marvel trailer, I'm kicking off a new superhero giveaway, so make sure you're subscribed to my channel and leave me a comment below on the trailer for a chance to win. The first detail you might have missed comes in this brief shot in a lab deep inside a S.H.I.E.L.D. building. If you zoom in really close, you'll see Nick Fury with a gun, presumably ready in case the Skrull on the operating table wakes up. And notice how Fury is holding what looks like some kind of cold pack on his left eye. Now obviously elsewhere in the trailer we see a younger Fury before the injury that led him to wear the eye patch in the other MCU movies. So I think what we may be seeing in this scene is the aftermath of a fight with a Skrull which caused Fury's left eye injury and led him to have to wear an eye patch. Also facing away from us is someone else who looks like it could be Ben Mendelsohn. You might know him as Krennic from Rogue One, but in Captain Marvel he's playing the alien Skrull Talos, who arrives on Earth and shapeshifts into human form to hide among us in plain sight. Talos is the leader of the Skrulls who've been at war with the alien Kree race, and he arrives on Earth to pose as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent and secretly lay the groundwork for a Skrull invasion. And this scene gives us a glimpse of how perfectly he seems to be blending in. And as that shot of Talos and Nick Fury appears, the trailer drops the following voiceover line from Samuel L. Jackson.
Space invasion.
Now that's another subtle indication that Captain Marvel is drawing from the Secret Invasion comic book crossover storyline. In that story it's revealed that the shape-shifting Skrulls have actually taken the place of many of Marvel's superheroes, so it'll be interesting to see if the Captain Marvel movie gives any hints as to whether any of our favourite MCU characters are actually secret Skrull imposters. And that shocking shot of Captain Marvel thumping what appears to be a poor old lady on the train might have confused you if you weren't familiar with the Skrulls. But I suspect Carol's seen whoever she was chasing on top of the train shapeshift into a human form. Or it could be that something in the way the old lady smiles at Carol triggers a memory or reaction from her Kree background, making her think this woman's a Skrull.
So you're not from around here?
It's hard to explain.
The trailer also teases some cool new details about Captain Marvel's origins, which as Carol Danvers says, are definitely complicated. Marvel's confirmed this won't be your typical superhero origin story, as the movie will begin with Carol Danvers already having her powers, and she'll be part of a Kree elite unit called Starforce. The trailer teases a few shots of her fellow Kree teammates. On the right of Carol Danvers in the Starforce shot is Minerva, played by Gemma Chan. Minerva is an elite sniper and was a star of the team before Carol joined, so you can expect some rivalry between them in the movie. There's Korath there, who you'll have seen in Guardians of the Galaxy as the Kree mercenary who'd been sent by Thanos to retrieve the orb which contained the Power Stone. Because we're going back in time, this will be a younger Korath, though he's still played by the same actor. I suspect that the Captain Marvel movie will show us why he and Ronan ended up allying themselves with Thanos by the time of the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. By the way, Ronan appears very briefly in the trailer with his back to us in this shot here. In charge of the team is Jude Law, whose character I think could be responsible for wiping Carol's memories.
I keep having these memories. I see flashes. I think I had a life here. But I can't tell if it's real.
The assumption so far with Law's character is that he's playing Mar-Vell. However, nobody's been able to confirm who his character actually is, meaning it could be part of a twist. Let me know what you think. Okay, so this is a scene of an experiment or procedure that I suspect Jude Law's character may be performing on Carol. Interviews with Brie Larson and Kevin Feige have confirmed Captain Marvel is part human and part Kree in the movie, as in the comics. And let's just say this scene feels like she's being turned into a Kree Winter Soldier. This could be a twist on how she receives her powers in the comics, where she was caught in a special piece of Kree technology that altered her DNA, making her a human-Kree hybrid with superhuman powers. Based on the trailer, there is another possibility for how Carol gets her powers, and that's when she approaches some wreckage and seems to be enveloped in a wave of blue light. This might also match with another shot in the trailer where she falls back and then you see blue light around her hand. An earlier version of the beeper that we saw in the Avengers Infinity War post-credits scene makes an appearance in the trailer. Although it's different, the buttons which are visible do seem to match the device used in Infinity War. The later version appears to be an enhanced or augmented model with additional attachments to the top and bottom, The Infinity War model has also aged significantly, and the extra pieces may be necessary to be able to communicate with Captain Marvel wherever she's located at the time of Thanos acquiring the Infinity Gauntlet. There's also some really interesting foreshadowing for Avengers 4 in this bit of voiceover from Nick Fury.
We can't do this alone. We need you.
I think we'll hear that line towards the end of this film, perhaps as Captain Marvel's having to leave Earth for some reason. Nick Fury will probably be letting Carol know that he may need to use the beeper to contact her again in the case of an emergency, which is of course exactly what happens at the end of Infinity War. There's also an intriguing line at the end of the trailer.
I'm not what you think I am.
Notice there's a head just at the bottom of the frame. I think that could be Monica Rambeau, the daughter of Maria Rambeau, who's Carol's Air Force colleague and friend who we see earlier in the trailer. Maria Rambeau, Monica's mother, goes by the call sign Photon, and in the comics, her daughter Monica is actually the first female Captain Marvel. This is an interesting Easter eggy twist of sorts and probably a wink by Marvel to comic book fans. But what I think is happening in this scene is that either Carol is revealing her superhero alter ego to her fellow pilot Maria, or perhaps Maria has died and Carol's telling her friend's daughter that she's not the right person to look after her. And if that is the young Monica in the bottom of the shot, then it might be a tease for a future superpowered Monica Rambeau in the MCU. Another comic book nod comes with several shots of Carol Danvers with a helmet, and if you look here you can see the helmet's being used to create her classic mohawk haircut from the comics. And let's just appreciate this amazing final shot of Captain Marvel fully powering up, glowing bright and her eyes turning into pure light. Captain Marvel's powers include the ability to absorb huge amounts of cosmic energy, and when she takes on enough she goes binary. And there's a cool Easter egg on the Captain Marvel poster as well. If you look very carefully, you'll spot the tail end of a cat here. That's a nod to the comics where Carol has a pet cat called Chewie, named after Chewbacca from Star Wars. The thing is that Chewie isn't actually a cat. It's a member of an alien species called the Flerken. And there was another allusion to the feline-like alien on some Captain Marvel cupcakes given out at an event held at Marvel Studios. Notice that cupcake with what looks like a cat's ID tag decoration on it. Well, that's had the internet wondering whether comic book Chewie will be renamed in the MCU as Goose. That would seem a bit weird given that Disney owns Star Wars, but then again it would certainly fit well with the Top Gun allusions in the trailer. Also on the poster are the words "Higher, Further, Faster," which is a tagline from Captain Marvel's comics, specifically a run by writer Kelly Sue DeConnick, whose work has been a particular influence on this film. So did the trailer get you hyped for the Captain Marvel movie, and what other details or Easter eggs did you spot? Let me know your thoughts and theories, and make sure you leave a comment and subscribe for a chance to win a cool Funko Pop. Tap left to check out another Captain Marvel video, or tap right for another video you're sure to like. And if you enjoyed this, a thumbs up and a share are always really appreciated. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Yippee-ki-yay, movie lovers!